How's it going, folks? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Let's go ahead and continue where we last left off, which was the end of chapter 9. And we left at the point of things getting super weird and creepy. Let's continue that, shall we? Tap, tap, tap. The sound of muffled footsteps stopped in front of the door to my room. A moment of silence, as if whomever they belonged to was ascertaining if I was inside. Of all the things I should have been doing, I continued on with my restless slumber. I was very much conscious, but my body hadn't caught up yet. Even with the danger bearing down on me from just beyond that door, it was as if I was completely paralyzed, unable to move. Without a doubt, this was sheer terror. Oh my god, let me guess. Game of hide and seek with those in the club. Oh my lord. Really? Please, no. Please, just leave. Hey, why isn't my body awake yet? If they came into my room right now, then... maybe not? Nice scream. The fuck? I sprung to my feet and threw my covers at my mom, who was opening the door. Oh my god. Perfect logical reaction. Every kid has got to be scared tirelessly of their mother.
Keiichi?
Okay. He was still frightened from last night, which in the previous episode of this, I believe we found out that Rena was stalking us, basically. She was eavesdropping as well right outside our door while we were talking to the old man. I forgot his name because it has been a while since I recorded this. Sorry about the hiatus, by the way. But yeah. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead. It's very suspenseful. I thought it was still 1 or 2 a.m., but the morning sun was already streaming through the gap between the curtains. It felt nothing like morning. Yesterday, I must have fallen asleep right after that. Then I should have gotten a full 10 hours of rest. But it didn't feel like that at all. My internal clock was completely screwed up, and my sense of balance felt off. I felt feverish enough that it was clear to me that I was still not well. Crappy. No. I felt far from well enough. No, I wasn't mentally fit to go. I was still plagued with the terror from yesterday. If I had swallowed that needle. That happened yesterday? Wait, I am so confused what happened in the last episode. The hell? Or was that in the same day? Shit, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sorry, everyone. Jesus Christ, I should like go back and watch before I fucking resume recording. Oh my lord. Anyway, continuing on. If I had swallowed that needle, what would have happened? You would have been started internally bleeding, and you would have been dead because I don't think there's a hospital or even a clinic nearby you, dude. So yeah, dead. Or what if it had pierced my tongue? You should be asking what if you had swallowed the damn thing, because then internal bleeding, dead. Bleh. There was undoubtedly a murderous intent, but I don't think that's all it was. I think it was more like a threat. If they really wanted to kill me, then there were other more certain ways to do it. They wouldn't resort to such a dubious method as having me swallow a needle. Exactly. Meaning I didn't want to believe it, but going that far was just a threat, from Rena and Mion. Okay, so her name was Rena. What did I say before? Rena? Whoops. Again, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. Give me a break, please. Aren't you glad you didn't die? But next time we'll use a more assured method. Please, no. Like that. Something like sending a letter with a razor inside would have been a joke compared to this. I don't think that would even be near a joke. What the hell's wrong with you? I think the nearest hospital is like, what, fucking 10 miles away? God damn, that's one hell of a drive! Give me my pills. Something about my mom's dubious gaze bothered me. She seemed more concerned about her son missing 2 days of school rather than him being sick. Oh shit, didn't they warn us not to skip school though? Oh fuck. Did I really miss 2 days? But no way, he said yesterday. I'm so confused. Make up your mind. Was this all happening yesterday, aka not 2 days ago? What is going on here? Please be clear. It was definitely mental fatigue. I wasn't really physically ill. I don't wanna. Ah, fuck that. I'd heard that line many times before. I was given an award in elementary school for having perfect attendance. Hey, I've gotten that award too, it's bullshit. But it wasn't like I was healthier than everyone. Schools don't really fucking care about your fucking attendance. Give me a break. Yeah, sure, it's easy for you to show up. But what's really fucking difficult and what really matters is the grades, baby. Okay? Mom's tone meant I couldn't argue about it. So I had to give up on skipping a second day. Oh. Yeah, I never cleaned that up, did I? Whoops. I'm sorry! Yeah, screw him. I didn't feel particularly guilty for doing it, so I didn't have much of a reaction. Also, Mom didn't question me any further about it. She headed back downstairs after she was certain I was getting up. What Mion said as she left yesterday? I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow. Okay, again, you're confusing the fuck out of me. Please, stop. Never mind, I remember. Okay, so the previous day in the game, I did miss school. I was playing sick. I was playing hooky. And the old man came about and brought me to this cafe or some sort, and somehow, Rena and Mion knew exactly where I was and who I was with that old man. They were like stalking me or some informants. It's scary, it's creepy, it's suspenseful, I'm fucked, oh my god, help, I'm done. What Mion said, yeah, okay, I already read that. Came back and dwelled in the back of my head. What did she mean by that? I didn't even have to really think about it. She was saying, don't be absent, or you're dead. Taking that a bit further, it was the same as her saying I should just go about living my life as if nothing happened. If I showed any signs of acting unusual, it would probably result in them making their move and trying to kill me. If I acted differently, someone like Oishi-san. Oh, that's his name. Okay, the old man. Oishi-san. For example, might end up noticing that something is up. Meaning, if I didn't watch my mouth or did anything differently from the norm. In fact, it would end up communicating something to these who were undesirable. And it seems that's something that the girls didn't intend to forgive. So, if I just went along as normal, no harm would come to me. Was that how it was going to be? All that misery I experienced up until yesterday would, almost creepily, just fade away. It was an enticing deal. just by forgetting everything I'd seen or heard these last few days, I'd be able to keep living on like normal.
そんな虫のいい話あるわけ?
I swallowed hard. I once again deliberated on the idea that I had just rejected. Mion was probably a good person who had her friends at heart. She was giving me, who had mistakenly broken some rule of theirs, a chance. Pfft, fuck that chance, was what I did. Really something so unforgivable. But Mion had given me another chance. She was saying if I had just forgotten everything and kept living on like I had been, I'd be forgiven.
Keiichi, ご飯冷めちゃうわよ.
Yeah, I'm coming down. Shut up!
早くしないとレナちゃんが来ちゃうわよ.
Oh god.
今行くよ.
No, I don't want to see Rena. Please. I crammed my textbooks into my bag and hastily made my way downstairs. I need to clean my glasses. I picked up my somewhat bland breakfast. Bland. It was bland. It seemed that I didn't have much time. It was already past when I usually met up with Rena. Oh, please don't come up to the door, please. Given yesterday's events, she'd probably be here in the next 5 minutes. I needed to be ready to head to school by then. I had to forget everything that had happened the past 2 days. Forget it all and return to my normal school life. For this to be normal, I'll have to be where I normally meet up with Rena. Today of all days, the rice was dry and hard to get down. Fuck. She's not giving me any chances. Okay. I jumped at the sound and dropped my chopsticks. That chime signaled that Rena had arrived. Mom hurried me along.
ほら、レナちゃん来ちゃったわよ.
Please don't make me.
急いで。
No. My mother's merry smile and gloomy face were polar opposites. And my gloomy face. Okay. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Honestly, I was reluctant to see Rena, who was waiting there on the other side of the door. The Rena on the other side. Was it the Rena that I knew? I couldn't keep her waiting. I needed to do things as usual. Okay. Whew, she didn't have those creepy eyes. Okay, good. Oh, invigorating greeting filtered in from across the doorway.
ケイイチ君、遅かったから来てみたけど、今日はどうかな?
Yeah, fucking wonder. The manner in which Rena was concerned was, without a doubt, the Rena I knew. But deep down I knew. The Rena that I hate was lurking behind the Rena that I knew. Oh, fuck me sideways. But that was probably only if I recuperated. Replicate? What? Sorry if I read that wrong. Forget everything from yesterday. Pretend as though nothing had happened. Forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Forget about the mysterious deaths that happened the following years. Forget about the people falling to their death, and the terminal illness and suicide, the fatal beatings and the disappearances. Forget it. Forget it all. Forget that Rena and Mion were scary. Of course, forget it all. Forget about all of it. Forget about the mochi, too. Forget. Rena once again asked to make sure.
学校行けそう?
Oh god, please don't let that be a threat.
大丈夫だよ.
Yeah, I'm good to go to school, so don't kill me.
よかった.
Yeah, that's great.
じゃあ行こう。みーちゃん待ってるよ。
Oh, I'm sure she is. Rena showed me her usual bright smile. I couldn't find any hint of deceit in her expression. My nervousness dissipated, giving way to relief. No, okay, good. When the music ends like that, I hate it. Oh my god. Okay, so... Okay. As we were walking, Rena talked about a lot of different stuff. More so than usual. Yeah. Remember, forget.
それで
さとこちゃん不吉祥だから何度やってもできないの。はう、かいかったんだよ。
Everything Rena talked about was just silly nonsense, so I just replied every so often and laughed from time to time. It was a rather laid-back conversation. We passed by one of our neighbors and they called out to us.
あれ？ケイチちゃんにレナちゃん。今日はちょっと遅いんじゃないの？
Yeah, it's my fault, Sumi.
ミオンちゃん、先に行くって言ってたわよ。
Oh, really?
みーちゃん怒ってるかな。
Oh, no, please. Don't get mad. Please. No.
怒ってるかな。
No.
早く行こう、ケイチくん。
After greeting our neighbor with a smile, Rena turned back to me and poked her tongue out. Not expecting that, I couldn't help but crack a smile.
ケイチくん笑った。
なんだよ。
Rena stopped and stared at me.
ケイチくん、今朝もなんか元気なかったから、まだ風邪が治らないのかなって思ってたけど、大丈夫みたいだね。だね。
With a grin, she gently poked my cheek. It was a bright, sincere smile. Hey, Keiichi Maebara. How can you still doubt Rena after she shows you a smile like that? Oh yeah, she shows a smile like that for now, sure, but later she'll show me something more devious. Just more devious. Yeah. What? Maybe I just had a high fever up until today, and I imagined everything that I thought happened because I was bedridden and delirious. Wrong. I really hoped that was the case. If God would grant me just one single wish, there's only one thing that I'd wish for. I would want what had happened in the past few days. More specifically, from the night of the Watanagashi up until last night. I wanted all of that to have never happened. I wonder how many times I'd wish for these past few days. As long as Rena kept on smiling like this, I think it might just become reality. So I wanted Rena to keep on smiling. Keep on smiling.
で、ケイチくん。
No.
昨日のおはぎ、
No.
ちゃんと食べてくれた？
No. 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 Fuck. You hear that? Did you hear that? Glass shattering. It's like reality just crashed and crumbled down, baby. That vain wish of mine was instantly shattered. Yeah, fuck you too, God. My heart began palpitating. The relaxed morning mood suddenly became frigid. Rena's smile was the same as usual. Her eyes were gentle as usual. Those mochi yesterday, did you eat them all? Of course, she wasn't asking the question at face value. In other words, Rena was asking, did you get the message? She was probably trying to convey that.
ケイチくん？
I was reluctant to give an answer. Rena stopped walking and stared deeply into my eyes. Don't hesitate, Keiichi Maebara. Rena was acting the same as always, wasn't she? I needed to respond in my usual way. Naturally, of course. But both my throat and mouth had gone dry, and my lips were stuck together. Hurry and answer, Keiichi. Not that much time had passed. I could still keep the conversation going naturally. I had to say something quickly. Rena playfully mimicked what I said when I finally squeaked something out. Rena's reaction was still normal. It seemed that there wasn't as long as a pause, as I had thought, sorry. Somehow I finally squeaked out the rest. Squawked, squeaked, squawked. However, my strained efforts neither sullied nor brightened Rena's expression. For a moment I panicked, thinking I had replied incorrectly. But after a few moments, Rena broke into her usual soft smile and giggled with a joyful voice that seemed to echo throughout the morning air. Being strung along by that laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well. No. Oh God. The chirping stopped. My timid smile froze again. Did you make it without swallowing the sewing needle? Was that what she was asking? If I had swallowed it, then I wouldn't be here.
いや、全部は食べきれなかったからさ、まだ残ってるんだよ。
I was scared out of my wits, but that's how I played it.
あれれ？どれがレナが作ったのか当てる宿題はどうなっちゃったのかな？
あの宿題って今日までだったっけ？
うん、今日までなんだよ。
Well, fuck me then.
みーちゃん怒るよ。きっと罰ゲームだね。
Oh no. We both laughed at each other again. To a casual observer, it was just a typical morning. If I could just let myself believe, then even I'd think it was just the usual morning routine. But I was certain I wasn't mistaken. There was something unimaginably buried beneath the facade of this giggling Rena. Fucking Christ. My heart thumped. Oh God. I recalled that unexpected, piercing voice that I could hardly believe came from Rena's mouth. The moment that image crossed my mind, I felt a cold sweat trickle down my back. Was it only at that particular time that something evil had possessed Rena? No, that was wrong. That was still Rena. Oshi-san told me, didn't he?
実は調べてみたら、竜宮さんは引っ越しの少し前に学校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。なんでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
Oh God. Rena had a disorder that normal people didn't. No matter how pleasantly she smiled, that fact would not change. But I couldn't even imagine how she looked as she broke all the glass throughout the school. One thing I knew was that it wasn't something spur of the moment. If it was some sudden outburst of anger, then maybe she'd break a pane or two. But she broke all of the windows all throughout the school. Just imagine going through your own school breaking the windows with a bat. Oh shit. CG art, baby! Swinging full force at each pane of glass, one after another, paying no heed to the flying shards. Her classmates aghast, unable to move from the sudden turn of events. I wonder where she could have found the most windows lined up in a row. Hallway, obviously. Probably hallway. Damn, I'm good. It was difficult for me to connect that horrifying image with Rena smiling at me right now. But I just had to imagine it. Impossible because it was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking no longer worked. The unpleasant piercing sound of shattered glass, the crunching noise of Rena trades across the broken shards, walking towards me. Rena's classmates going pale as they forget to even breathe. I wondered what they did as Rena came closer, breaking windows along her path. Did they earnestly try to bring her to her senses by saying something? Or did they jump at her, trying to stop her savagery? Or did they run to the staff room to call for the teachers? Probably none of those. In the face of that blood-curdling sight of Rena busting window after window, undoubtedly all they could do was silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, just clearing the path for Rena to continue. It would be cruel to blame anyone for looking the other way. No, they weren't simply looking the other way. They knew it was the only way they could protect themselves. If they had done something differently from the rest, they may have suddenly found themselves as Rena's new target. Yikes. What would Rena have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer was obvious. She would have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. Meaning I would, be the next window. Rena staring into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling under her foot as she drew closer. I was also drawn into her eyes, paralyzed. The fuck? Then Rena struck me with the bat over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crouched down onto the floor, desperately protecting my head. Rena didn't care whether it was my head or my back. Zealously, she hits me again and again. What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was so indifferent. It was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, I didn't make as pleasant a sound as the other windows. She struck me continuously, over and over again. The sound Rena wanted didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody save me. Turning a blind eye, unless we're hanging out? But of course, everyone in class scrambled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They gained nothing from saving a cram school tryhard like me. Oh. Eventually, there would be a faint sound, similar to when you crack open a walnut, and some sort of reddish-black spray would shoot out. Anyway, it wasn't that Rena momentarily lost herself in her anger. After forcing myself to breathe and calming down my heart, I recalled what Oshi-san told me.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテにレナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね、その中に出てくるんですよ。結構。
何がです？
出てくるんですよ。お社様って単語が。
Following that, Rena was suspended and had regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Rena was undergoing counseling, she said it over and over. Oyashiro-sama.
お社様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんですよ。枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
That was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture. But it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then, what Rena did Was she saying that ghastly incident was a result of her being possessed by Oyashiro-sama? Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because of some sort of conspiracy. Every time I talked with Oishi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not some curse. Except, if it was people perpetrating the incidents, my friends were somehow deeply connected. If I refused to believe that the curse was real, then I would have to believe those who acted the kindest to me were deeply involved in the incidents. Why? How? For what reason? Was Rena? Was everybody? It was much more painful and troublesome than accepting that it was just Oyashiro-sama's curse. In the aftermath, Rena had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Oyashiro-sama. I felt a strange sense of relief from that. So that's how it was. There wasn't a second side to Rena. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Oyashiro-sama. It wasn't Rena's fault. Oyashiro-sama was the one to blame. I knew. This is all backwards. Refusing to believe there was a curse, I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my beliefs at my own convenience, saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse to blame. Which was the better choice, accepting that Oyashiro-sama's curse exists, or that Rena and the rest of them were deeply involved in the string of mysterious deaths. I didn't want to think about it. If I just didn't think about it, I'd be able to continue the same as always. I wanted to believe that, but that was no longer possible. I had received their message. It was pathetic of me to try and bend the meaning into my own convenience. Regardless of whether my opponent were a human or a curse, I won't let it kill me, as if I would just bend over and give in, for no good reason at all.
Keiichi-kun? さっきから変な顔してる。なんでだろう。
Inhaling sharply upon hearing Rena's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I had realized it, we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exorcised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how you looked at it, there's no way Rena could have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. As I slid the door open, a blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped down on my head the moment I stepped into the classroom. The chalk dust went into my eyes, inducing a brief moment of agony. I am just so not in the mood right now.
ずる休みのケイイチさんにはお似合いですことよ。ケイイチもレナもおはようございますです。おはよう、さとこちゃんにリカちゃん。
Not quite in the mood for it, I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently. なんなん
ですの？張り合いがありませんわ。ケイイチ、まだ本調子じゃないみたいです。だから今日は加減してあげてね。
Suddenly, there was a slap down on my shoulder. It hurt a bit. Mion.
よ、ケイちゃん、しっかり休んできた？
It was Mion. My mind was full with the stuff about Rena, but Mion was also a party of interest. Remember, Keiichi, that hawkish gaze from yesterday.
ああ、おはよ
なんだなんだ、随分と覇気のない挨拶じゃん。差し入れのおはぎちゃんと食べてくれなかったの？
I'm like this because I ate them. Those words were itching to be blurted out.
やっぱ食欲がなくてさ。いくつかは食べたけど、だいぶ残しちゃったんだ。
あれ、じゃあ宿題は？どれがレナの手作りかってのの回答は？ケイチくん宿題忘れなんだって。ありゃあ、じゃあ仕方ないね。罰ゲーム。
Flashing a lurid smile, Mion returned to her seat. There was nothing from our exchanges that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. But of course, anyone listening to our conversations up until this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That was why it was so frightening. They acted in a way that, regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Maebara, no one would ever suspect them. That fact had me terrified. Soon the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, another dull, ordinary day began. Oh, God. Damn. I actually pulled some strings in my heart. Damn. Not in a good way. Alright, was that it, or are we still going? Oh, we're still going. Alright. It's gonna be another long one, folks. This free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood. I gently closed my eyes and pondered the ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I had fallen out of favor with him. After interacting with Oshi-san multiple times, I could see it was I could see it as I was getting closer to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday was the monkey was a good indicator of that. No, calling it a warning was just a habit of understating things. It probably had no meaning beyond stunting my progress and buying themselves some time. Oh damn, can y'all hear that? Hold on. If you can't hear the music, it's actually kind of oofa. Lower the... Yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay. Until they had a method of completely erasing me, they were just biding their time. Even though they were keeping me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi... How do you pronounce that? Hojo? Hoyuju? I don't know how to pronounce that. The boy who was using this seat until last year, when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have? Was he erased? Damn! I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never! But were they really trying to kill me? I've had these contradictory feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. Even having witnessed all their suspicious behavior, a morning like this just made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. No, that's just what I want to believe. Doubting my friends? Covering for them? My life was in danger. Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated on a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolvable trains of thought. Are you an idiot, Keiichi Maebara? The answer should be obvious. But maybe. That sewing needle might have just been an accident, right? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of mochi? The benefit of the doubt can only go so far. Both Rena and Mion had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outright ludicrous, right? Rena just corrected me for lying, and Mion only asked me what I had for lunch. Rena was standing outside my door eavesdropping for a solid hour. She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside your room. And it was a normal to go home afterwards without saying anything? You heard from Oishi-san, didn't you? About what Rena did at her former school? But at the hospital, she said it was Oyashio-sama's fault. She...
いい加減にしろよ、前原圭一。お前、命を狙われてるって自覚があるのかよ。
You're saying this out loud. Oh god. I inadvertently blurted those words out loud. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few moments. Afterwards, I had to look around to check if anyone else had heard it. My little Sinikle, is that how you pronounce that? Sinikle? Cut a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Rena and the others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal, ordinary life. Do you think I could suddenly believe that my friends, who I had been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me? Right? This time I remembered to keep my voice down so only I could hear it. There was one thing I now understood. I was too soft. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Rena and the rest of them were. Now, I wasn't trying to understand. I was too soft for not listening to Oishi-san when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. Fuck it. I didn't comprehend it. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had any notion to try and kill me. I needed to get rid of such naive thoughts. As I made that resolution, I heard the bell signaling the end of class. So soon. The day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. My friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I would probably have happily jumped into that circle. The way Satsuko spoke was so typical and familiar, it almost physically hurt. Seeing Rena's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey, Keiichi, maybe Yoshi-san was just some enormous jerk trying to separate me and the others by lying to me? Slap. Trying to expunge such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face.
Keiichi-kun?
Yeah. Was Rena really trying to kill me? I wish someone would tell me it was a hoax. I didn't care if it was actually... Wait, did I read that wrong? I didn't care if it actually was one or not. I just wanted someone to say it was. Yet another weak-willed thought. How did I ever become this naive? Apparently that was how my inner dilemma appeared to Rena.
いかな。
No, 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 please, please don't.
いや、いい。ごめん、一人で帰れる。部活はみんなでやってくれよ。
Upon hearing that I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting, Mion pouted unhappily.
ケイちゃんがリベンジ熱望してたってんで、今日はせっかくこの間の推理ゲームにしたってのにな。
ケイイチさんにはリターンマッチに臨む熱いハートはありませんですの？情けないですわね。
I wouldn't fall for some dumb taunt. Without even a real retort, I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head.
ケイイチ、具合悪そうです。かわいそうですよ。
It was Rika-chan. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hand. It felt so nice, which made things even harder.
ごめんな、みんな。じゃあ。
That's all I said as I quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. Probably a death threat. Bad joke. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in that state of mind. Took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Forward. Harder than heart. Harden that heart. Wait, what? I'm confusing myself. Harden that heart, Keiichi Maebara. They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them, because weren't they my friends? Part of me limited my naivety, while another part limited the fact that I had lost something important by limiting over it in the first place. It felt like my personality was being ripped in two, along with my body. If this is what Oyashio-sama's curse was like, then it was just too harsh. Hey, Oyashio-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse, but I believed in it now. Completely. Your curse does exist. So seriously, give me a break. I beg you. Come on. No. It's nighttime! Yay! Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. The miso soup was... Wait, what? I'm messing up a lot right now. I don't know why. God damn it. The miso soup that normally tantalized my appetite instead tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in this household. When he got into his work, he ate and slept on his own schedule. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it either meant he had just reached a good point to take a break, or he was in a slump.
とにかく作家のモチベーションってものを理解してないんだよ彼は。
タイアップの話だって口約束なんでしょ。そんなに反りが合わないならきっぱりお断りしたら。
助け合いの世界だからお互い様だとは思うんだけど、これじゃ仕事にな。
I wasn't able to pick out much of my mom and dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. That, of course, made the disgusting food even less appealing. Staring listlessly at the exchange between my parents, my mind wandered off to the same thought process I had going on all day long. Friends close to me? No, they used to be friends, but I could no longer trust them. Right now, I was greatly lacking in allies. People I trusted, people I could depend on when push came to shove. They were something I just didn't have. Having just one ally would have been incredibly reassuring in the currently hopeless situation I was in. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents, who were still talking about work. The first course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Currently, there wasn't a single person in Hinamizawa I could trust 100%. That meant the only person I could trust were my parents. But if I told them everything that happened up until now, they would understand. Rena, for example. That neighborly Rena, who was so diligent in looking after me, came to get me every day, and sometimes brought over a share of what she made. How could I explain that she wanted to kill me? No matter how I explained, it would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat eccentric dad wouldn't understand, and my hung-strung mom would probably drag me off to a psychiatric... oh, shit. Drag me off to a psychiatrist in the blink of an eye. Oh. Sorry. I need a drink of water. Fucking Christ. I'm not editing anything out, folks. I swear to God. Sadly, that was the amount of trust that existed in our relationship. Even if they did come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. No. By informing them of these unnecessary things, I'd be putting my parents in danger as well. Considering that the victims in past incidents were often married couples, I couldn't even joke about it. For the entire Maebara family to have an accident or to just vanish into thin air, it was easily possible in Hinamizawa. What was important here was that knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question was, how did they know that I knew? As long as they didn't know, my parents might not fall victim. That was one way to think about it, I guess. At least it was like that in my case. After I found out, things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen to them. Which means that this house would be a safe haven as long as my parents were in. I knew these were just assumptions based on conjecture on top of conjecture. Wanting this house to be a safe haven, that was the pinnacle of my weak-willed method of thinking. I had to concede that it was not completely safe. It was only safer than the outside. I knew that I couldn't rely on my parents. No, couldn't risk getting my parents involved. Then the only person who could be my ally would be Oishi-san. Him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. He didn't care so much about my safety, but he was without a doubt passionate about solving this case. It was a bit frustrating. Oishi-san was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Now to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning it was all going according to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing in the waves as bait. Then, when the fish started gathering around, Oishi-san would pull out the big haul. What the fuck is this? It was slightly infuriating. But then I thought that was the best course of action. So then what should I do? Patience was the first rule of fishing. Sure. Just keep waiting until the fish actually bites. But I wasn't simply bait. There were lots of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough to tag out to Oishi-san. No question, it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Oishi-san in would be difficult. He was in the city, not in Hinamizawa. So if I phoned him in my moment of need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I needed to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, if we set up a rendezvous point for dire situations or something. I'd just have to hide out there until Oishi-san arrived.
よし、少し見えてきたぞ。
Alright. I was still being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah. It would probably be best if I had a concealed weapon for when things got rough. Typically, that would call for a switchblade, but that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, that also wasn't good. Really, when the time comes, a long weapon like a bat would work in my favor. Here we go, a bat. I remembered there was a metal bat at school. I could be confident with that when push came to shove. If I pretended I was practicing my swing, then it wouldn't be suspicious for me to always carry it around. I could go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just possessing a weapon may be enough to deter them. Also, one more thing. Insurance. It could be something like a note or a memo. I could write down everything that's happened as a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanished, the journal would be left behind. With my journal in his possession, Oishi-san should be able to avenge my death. I left my parents engrossed in their conversation about work and went back to my room. Huh. Still going. God damn, it's a long one. I tore out a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to my desk. Last time I wrote a journal was for summer homework in elementary school. In the off chance something bad happened, the police could use my diary as a lead. So I should only write down the facts. How should I start? I jotted down my thoughts as they came. I, Keiichi Maebara, am in fear for my life. It made me laugh nervously. It was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never even dreamed that I would be in the type of situation where I'd write it myself. I do not know why they are after my life. Rena and the others were suspicious, but I had no proof. And that's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed wildly at myself for writing such a passage draped in mystery. Would the police be able to get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage? I could only pray that they would. What I prayed for the most, though, was that this journal never needed to play its part. Here, I laughed nervously. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line I just thought of. The only thing I know is that it has to do with Oyashio-sama's curse. Was that too much? I probably shouldn't write more than that. If I wrote any more, then it would seem like I was just delusional. In order to appear to the reader that the person who had written this was of sound mind, I chose not to write anything else at this point. I just needed to add more as I learned more about the truth. I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it. By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that they would uncover it instead. On the other hand, if it was in too obscure of a location, then there was the risk of nobody finding it at all. In the end, I decided to take the clock off my wall and stick my folded note on the back of it with a scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back into its normal position. Yeah, it didn't look like anything was hiding behind it. Now I needed to set it up such that if anything happens to me, my parents could find it. I looked at it from countless different angles, but I was satisfied and I made my way downstairs. My parents were still talking about work. It didn't look like it was going to end anytime soon, so I cut in.
話中ごめん。ちょっと聞いてもらっていいかな。
I'd never started off a conversation like that before, so my parents were both startled. They stopped talking and turned towards me.
どうしたのケイチ？
お願いがあるんだけど、聞いてほしいんだ。もしもだよ。
ケイイチ、急ぎの話じゃなきゃ後にしなさい。お父さんとお母さんはちょっと今、急ぎの話をしてるんだ。
Well, tough luck, bitch. This is urgent. I didn't think their talk was more urgent than mine. In any case, I stated my request.
もしもだよ。俺が死んだらさ。
Both of my parents' eyes went as wide as saucers.
死んだらさ、俺の部屋にある時計、あれを棺に入れてほしいんだ。
The fuck? If they did that, then they'd probably find it. My memoir. Both my parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch. I couldn't blame them.
あの時計、工作の授業で作ったお気に入りなんだ。頼むよ。
どうしたのケイチ？何かあったの？
Mom was finally able to ask me with a questioning gaze. Of course, this was a normal response for when someone's son suddenly talked about a subject like this. Yeah. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. With the awkward mood leaving the room in silence, I decided to go back up to my room.
俺さ、明日は早くに学校に行きたいから、もう寝るよ。おやすみ。
Saying only that, I left the living room. I needed to get to school early tomorrow and secure that bat. I should make today the last day I went to school with Rena. As I climbed the stairs, I heard my mom call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. If I talked about it, it would only make things more dangerous. The fight that had begun was mine and mine alone. I couldn't rely on anybody. I wouldn't be killed. Not when I still knew nothing. Okay. It started off pretty thrilling, but it ended on a somewhat soft note, kind of. Alright. Gonna go ahead and save end of chapter 10. I do not know how many chapters there are in this, but I got a feeling it is pretty close to the end. I'm thinking it probably is gonna end around chapter 14. I've got this feeling. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I will be uploading more of this and other series I'm doing soon. So I hope you all look forward to that, and see you all next time.